If you enjoy bold and comforting noodle soups, this Thai Red Curry Ramen has a creamy coconut broth, plenty of vegetables, and crispy tofu on top that adds a really nice texture. Let's start with the tofu, because getting the tofu crispy makes a big difference in the final bowl. I like to begin by patting the tofu really well with a paper towel. Removing excess moisture is important, because dry tofu browns much better in the pan and brings those crispy edges. Now, dice the tofu into bite-sized cubes. After cutting it, I like to spread the pieces on a plate and gently pat them dry again if they still feel damp. The drier the tofu is, the better crust it will form while frying. Next, sprinkle some cornstarch and a little salt over the tofu and toss everything well so each piece is evenly coated. The cornstarch creates a thin coating that turns beautifully crispy once the tofu cooks. You can also use tapioca or potato starch here. Set the tofu aside while the vegetables are prepared. Slice one red onion. I like using red onion because it has a mild sweetness that works really well with the curry broth. Next, dice the red bell pepper. Bell peppers add color and natural sweetness, which helps balance the spice from the curry paste. What makes this ramen especially good is the balance of flavors. The broth is rich and creamy from the coconut milk, slightly spicy from Thai red curry paste, and finish with a little lime at the end to brighten everything. Now, chop some fresh cilantro and set it aside for garnish. I like adding herbs at the end so they keep their bright flavor and freshness. Slice the red chili pepper diagonally. This adds a gentle heat and also makes the ramen look vibrant. Now slice the spring onion greens diagonally and set them aside for garnish as well. Adding these at the end gives the ramen a fresh onion flavor without overpowering the broth. Finally, grate some fresh ginger. It adds warmth and depth and pairs really nice with Thai red curry flavors. Once everything is ready, place a white pan over medium heat and add a little oil. When the oil is hot, arrange the tofu in a single layer. Cooking it in one layer helps it brown evenly. If the pan is overcrowded, the tofu tends to steam instead of becoming crispy. Let the tofu cook until it becomes crispy and golden on all sides. I like to gently rotate the pieces with a spatula as they cook, so they brown evenly and develop a nice crust. Once done, transfer the tofu to a plate lined with paper towel. This absorbs excess oil and helps the tofu stay crispy while the soup cooks. Using the same pan, add the sliced onion and grated ginger. Saute them for about a minute until they become fragrant. Cooking these aromatics first helps build the flavor base for the broth. Add the sliced red chili pepper and cook it briefly so the heat infuses into the oil. Next, add the diced red bell pepper and saute it for about 1 to 2 minutes. I like cooking it just until slightly tender so it still keeps some texture in the soup. Add minced garlic and saute for 1 to 2 minutes. At this point, I realize the pan is not large enough for the soup, so I transfer the cooked vegetables into a cast iron pot. This gives enough space to build the broth. Now add the Thai red curry paste. I'm using a vegan Thai red curry paste here. Some brands include shrimp paste, so if you want to keep the soup fully vegan, just check the label when buying your curry paste. This particular paste is quite mild, so I'm using about half a cup. If your curry paste is stronger, it is better to start with around 3 tablespoons and adjust according to your taste. Now add the vegetables. Here I'm using frozen wok vegetables like sliced carrots, broccoli and baby corn. These work really well in ramen and make the soup quick and convenient to prepare. You can also use any of your favorite vegetables depending on what you have at home. Pour in the coconut milk followed by vegetable broth. The coconut milk makes the broth creamy, while the vegetable broth keeps it light so the soup does not feel too heavy. Give everything a good mix so the curry paste dissolves completely into the liquid. Now add the enoki mushrooms and gently stir them in. These delicate mushrooms cook quickly and add a really nice texture to the ramen. Cover the pot and let the soup simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes so the vegetables soften and the flavors come together. Meanwhile, cook the ramen noodles according to package instructions. I like cooking noodles separately because it keeps the broth clear and prevents the noodles from overcooking in the soup. Once the soup has simmered, add brown sugar, soy sauce, fresh lime juice. The sugar balances the spice, the soy sauce adds savory depth and umami flavor, and the lime juice brightens the whole broth. Give everything a good mix and let the soup come to a gentle boil. Now it's time to assemble the ramen. Place the cooked noodles into a serving bowl and ladle the hot Thai red curry broth over the noodles along with the veggies. Top the bowl with the crispy tofu, sliced red chili pepper, spring onion greens and chopped cilantro. Finish with roasted peanuts, extra enoki mushrooms and a little chili crisp for a bit of heat and crunch. And that is a comforting bowl of Thai red curry ramen soup with creamy broth, fresh vegetables and crispy tofu on top. This soup is also completely plant-based and packed with vegetables, so it's hearty, nourishing and perfect for a comforting meal. If you enjoyed this recipe, make sure to give this video a like, and if you love easy homemade recipes like this, subscribe to my Ginger Garlic Kitchen channel so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Happy cooking. See you next time.